Level 1, The Awakening. You're 16. It is past midnight. The room smells like stale air and the specific quiet of a house where everyone else is asleep. You've spent 4 hours producing nothing. Games, videos, tabs opened and abandoned. Then a screenshot appears on your feed. A striped dashboard, $17,000. 1 month, one laptop, one bedroom almost identical to yours. Something cold moves through your chest. Not excitement, something sharper. Like watching a clock and realizing you've been reading it wrong your entire life, and every minute you spent not knowing cost you something real. You close every tab, you delete the games, you open a blank document and stare at the cursor blinking in the white silence. You don't want a boss. You don't want a commute or a name badge or someone else's schedule printed on your life. You want leverage. You've just learned the word and it already feels like the only word that matters. Level 2, the digital sweatshop. You're 17, rate card, Notion board, 3 Discord servers managed for clients in time zones you had to look up. You cold DM until midnight and edit until 4 a.m. The energy drink goes warm and you don't notice because noticing costs minutes and minutes have a price now. Your childhood friends stop calling. You told one of them you were building something, and the tone ended the conversation and probably the friendship. You tell yourself this is discipline. You tell yourself suffering now is compound interest on the freedom waiting at the end. What you are actually doing is constructing your first cage, bar by bar, with the same hands you swore would set you free. You just can't see the bars yet because they look exactly like ambition from the inside. Level 3, the taste of arbitrage. You're 18, $2,000 in 1 month, and something in your brain rewires permanently. You are not doing the work anymore. You are the margin. International clients, outsourced labor, 60% kept. You use the word scale the way other people use the word fine. Your ego builds its own velocity. You talk about leverage at dinner with people who just wanted to eat. What you cannot feel is the trap assembling itself inside the pride. The machine never feels the factory walls from the inside. That is the design. That has always been the design. Level 4, the algorithm dictator. You're 19. You launch channels, digital assets. Life stops being measured in hours and starts being measured in click-through rates and retention curves that drop in the first 30 seconds and make you feel like a personal failure. You rebuild your day as a strict algorithm. Input windows, output quotas, deep work blocks on a timer. Your family tries to talk at dinner and you sit there with your body present and your mind running calculations about a retention drop from 3 hours ago. A genuine exchange between people who love each other starts to register as inefficiency. You don't say this out loud, you keep quietly optimizing, which is the most dangerous thing you've done yet. Level 5, the sterile studio. You're 20. You move into your own apartment. Minimalist. Every object deliberate. The setup looks exactly like the thumbnails you studied at 16. You stand in the middle of the room the first evening and wait for the feeling. The arrival, the confirmation that it was worth all of it. It doesn't come. The striped dashboard is open. The numbers are correct. The room is silent and clean and exactly what you designed. And the silence at 2 a.m., when there are no notifications left and nothing left to optimize, feels like a held breath that never releases. You designed this room to look like freedom. You forgot that freedom has to be felt somewhere in the body, and you traded that ability away so gradually you never noticed the exact moment it was gone. Level 6, the guilt of consumption. You're 21. You install a game. 5 minutes in, your brain produces an involuntary calculation of ROI lost per minute of play. The anxiety arrives like a cold hand closing around your sternum. You close the game, you open the striped dashboard. The numbers haven't moved, but looking at them feels like doing something, and doing something is the only state in which you can breathe without resistance. You have enough money to buy anything you want. You cannot enjoy a single hour that doesn't justify itself in percentages. You don't let yourself sit with that. Sitting with it costs time, and time has a price. That was the first lesson you ever learned, and it is quietly costing you everything else. Level 7, the automated void. You're 22. The business runs without you. Revenue moves into the account while you sleep. You have achieved the exact goal you typed into that blank document at 16. 24 hours of unstructured freedom, every single day. Your anxiety hits a frequency you didn't know it could reach. Your brain was built on urgency and the forward pressure of always being behind. Take the crisis away and it doesn't relax. It generates new ones. You open Notion and create a project with no real purpose except that naming a task makes you feel like you exist inside your own life. The automation runs perfectly. You are the only broken component, and there is no dashboard that measures the kind of failure happening inside you right now. Level 8, the metric paranoia. You're 23, tens of thousands sit in accounts you rarely open. You lie awake refreshing dashboards every 10 minutes, running worst-case scenarios with the focused dread of someone who has way too much practice. One algorithm shift, one client cancellation, one market move. You built a life with no floor because every time solid ground appeared, you converted it into leverage before you could rest on it. The insomnia is the only consistent companion you have left. You started this to stop answering to someone else. You didn't realize you were just reassigning the role to the most demanding employer you would ever encounter. Level 9, the ghost in the reflection. You're 24. The monitor shuts off at 3 a.m., and for 1 second, the room goes completely dark. Then your eyes adjust. The black glass of the dead screen gives back a reflection, and you look at it longer than feels comfortable. You look older than the number, not in years, in something behind the eyes that was spent in small increments over 8 years without a single moment where you consciously chose to give it away. You think about the girl you ended things with in year 3 because the relationship wasn't aligned with your trajectory. You think about the friends you abandoned for having the wrong mindset, who are somewhere right now doing nothing optimized and probably laughing in a way you can't fully remember how to do. You fired every external boss and hired yourself as a replacement. You turned out to be the most relentless, least forgiving employer you have ever worked for, and the contract has no exit clause because you wrote it yourself and didn't include one. The monitor stays dark. The room stays silent. You are the most efficient prisoner you have ever encountered, and the cage has no lock because it never needed one. You built it open. You walked in. You optimized the door clean off its hinges so nothing could ever slow you down. In another bedroom, a 15-year-old clears a desktop full of games, opens a blank document. The cursor blinks in the white silence. He doesn't know what to write yet. He just knows something shifted tonight. Some cold, sharp thing behind the sternum that feels like clarity and purpose and the first day of a life that finally makes sense. He types 2 words at the top of the page. Day 1. The cursor blinks. The room holds its breath. And the next 8 years begin without a sound.